A very warm welcome to you all to today's edition of Lockdown SK 2.0, the original interactive self-isolation talk show, broadcasting to you live from our micro streaming studio here on the beautiful island of Corfu in sunny Greece. And as usual, we're broadcasting live on Facebook and also on YouTube. Should you like what you see or hear, please follow us, like us and share us on Facebook, or if you're watching on YouTube, please subscribe to our channel. And of course, if you're feeling in a slightly generous mood, why not make us a donation just to keep those running costs down? And you can do that by logging on to either one of our two websites, which are www.StudioKerkyra.com or else www.Kerkyra.live. And I must say, it's rather pleased to say that we've actually had a brave person to do just that. So thank you, that person, for making that first donation. As always, I'm very pleased to say we have the help and assistance of our wonderful producer, Claire, who will be answering all those comments on Facebook Live. And of course, as you know, no show will be quite complete without Thomas, master of the controls, who, I'm very happy to say, joins me live in the studio here today. Hello, Thomas, and how are you today?
Oh, switch.
He's there, really, I promise.
Hi, everybody. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for watching again. Great to see you. It's second episode of Lockdown. The sun's just setting when I look out. It's just the orange sky. It's beautiful. It's unbelievable.
Yes.
But thanks for logging on. It's Lockdown episode 2. It's Friday, and I don't know if we can all look forward to our weekend. So because
sure about
tomorrow, also midnight tonight, Greece is locking down. That's it. From tomorrow on, we got a curfew in place too. That means at the moment from midnight until 6 a.m. No going out. And there has been a couple of fines yesterday already. In Corfu, over 40 what got fined because they didn't wear a mask. And the others got fined because they broke the curfew.
Ooh,
so
nasty.
That's it. But let's shut up. Let's move on.
We haven't started yet. How can we? God, blimey. What you like?
But we can go over. And there's one graphic I want to show every time at the beginning
yes.
of the show. We show a graphic, and today it has to do with mental health. So have a look.
Ah, yes, right. Very important, very significant.
Definitely, mental health matters. 9 ways to reduce stress times in COVID-19 situation. And what is number one? Number one is get enough sleep. Yeah, that's important. Number 2, eat healthy food and stay hydrated. 3, learn relaxation techniques. 4, improve your time management skills. 5, resolve stressful situations. 6, exercise daily. 7, nurture yourself. 8, keep in touch with your family and friends. And 9, the most important one, ask for help.
Yes, it is. Number 9 there on the list is the most important, definitely. I'm quite surprised to see the one about hydration. I hadn't given that sufficient consideration before.
Haven't you?
No.
No, it's very, very important because we all seem to forget that.
Yes, yeah, exactly.
You know, you move on, you work, you do, and then you get distracted, you feel tired, you can't be bothered standing up or what, but you feel thirsty, and sometimes in stress situations like COVID, you totally forget the basics, and that's hydrate yourself, drink enough water, and then maybe when you're stuck at home, exercise. I think it's very, very important when you exercise.
Absolutely. I personally have trouble with number 4 there. Improve your time management skills. I think I leave a lot of room for improvement on that one. Nurture yourself. That's also quite interesting, isn't it? Number 7 there.
Nurture yourself.
Yes,
yeah, it's very, very important, man.
I'd probably have a bit of difficulty with that, but perhaps relaxing in a nice hot soapy bath might count for that one.
Yeah, no, definitely. No, there's a very, very important point. I mean, get enough sleep. We seem to overstand at the moment, you know, but I grabbed myself not long ago, got really tired because, you know, you stand up, you move, you watch a movie, you do something, you forget the time because day and night it starts not to matter. You know what I mean?
Yes, I had trouble the other night with the US election. I went to bed at a ridiculous time.
I know. I think we done both the same there. It was
yes,
about, I think something like 6 o'clock. Where do you get from the front
it
here?
Was, yes.
6 o'clock in the morning, and that's
not good.
Just because of the election, and then you're tired the rest of the day, and then it can upset your schedule, and then it tires you out much, much more. So be careful with that.
Absolutely. Getting good sleep is sometimes a bit difficult, especially if you've got a lot of worries on your head. With me, it's a cat on my head. I have to say, I keep on getting interrupted by that cat who keeps coming in and decides to take over the whole pillow, would you believe? Greedy cat, I think.
Yeah, well, you got 2 of these little
I
favorites,
have,
haven't
yes,
you?
but only one is particularly tricky.
But hey guys, thanks for logging on again. Thanks for writing in. Today's poll, it's a question we were asking each other here today just before the show, and is how
Yes.
much faith do you have in the official COVID-19 figures? And so far, complete faith 0%, some faith 63, and no faith at all 38.
Oh, that's quite interesting. Yes, especially the first one being 0. That's very telling, isn't it?
First one being 0, yeah. Because
I didn't
if you-
expect that. I thought there'd be a few people that would say they did, but no, none at all. That's quite extraordinary.
It's
And
not- but-
I can't say I blame them, though, can you?
Nah, not at all. But I show you in a second something.
Okay,
Just let
yeah.
me say hello to our viewers. There's Lorraine Smith from still sunny in Pompey. Hi, Lorraine. Nice
great.
to see
Hi,
you.
Lorraine.
Tom Giddings. Hi, everyone.
Hi,
Very
Tom.
sunny here in Ebeldor. Looking forward to my lockdown fix with you all.
Oh, bless you, Tom.
Margaret Black is watching. Hi, guys.
Hi,
Hope you're
Margaret.
all doing okay. Bright and crisp here in Durham.
Oh, nice.
Benny is watching. Hi, everybody. I hear Corfu is going into lockdown from tomorrow. Hope all is well. All is well. Confirmed cases yesterday. In Corfu, new cases 21.
Ooh,
so
dear.
it's rising. It's
Do you know,
really,
Thomas, that's
really
the
going
highest
up now. It's
figure
the highest
we've
ever.
heard, hasn't it, on a daily basis for Corfu? That's double
Corfu.
what the highest figure was before.
Yeah, it's more. Yeah,
Yes,
it's
yes.
crazy. It's more than double.
Yes,
but
it is. Yes, very
country-wise, we speak in our Greece 2,917 yesterday. So we wait for the official figures now for today. They all come out late, so around 8, 9 o'clock in the evening we're getting them. But I don't have a lot of hope that this goes is any lower than today. So maybe a little bit, but it doesn't make any difference, does it?
No, and across the world, we've actually in the last 24 hours increased by over 600,000 in terms of total world cases.
600,000.
Yeah, increase over
Oh.
yesterday as well, which brings the total of the world to 48,836,990 with 1.237 million deaths, which is very sad as well, isn't it?
Yeah, let me call it up while we're just talking figures
right,
here. Here we go,
Okay,
48,829,607. That's an increase of 577,478 in the last 24 hours.
Right, yes.
Bah, it's crazy, isn't it?
Well, straight away, actually, we can see a discrepancy because the source of your figures are very slightly different to the source of my figures. So straight away, we can't be ticking that box, can we? Number one, that, yes,
it's,
complete fake.
exactly, and that's why I'm
There we are,
relieved.
yes.
It's not just us, you know.
No, it's not,
Somehow
no.
I think it's just us here. You're not
Often
getting
it is, but not on this one. Not this
Often
occasion.
it is.
No. Well, no, not really. I'm only messing about. But actually, it just goes to show that can you rely on any of these figures? You know, they're only as good as the people providing them, and maybe there's suspect in actually getting hold of the correct figures. There may be under-reporting going on. I should think that's
I think so,
probably the case, isn't it?
Definitely. I mean, they can't catch up with the figures constantly. It's having the world and trying to collect these figures must be such a
Major
enormous
headache.
task
Yes,
and
it is,
headache
yes.
at the
Yeah.
same time.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
it's okay. So, but that's the map over here. There you can see if you log on to Bing, then it gives you the choice. It shows you instantly the map, and there you can look in. I mean, it's one of the maps. What is
we ran before. In the
Ran
first
before, and it's
episode of
quite
Lockdown
good, isn't
SK.
it?
Oh, it's very good. Yes, I look at the COVID-19 website, which was formed by that older teenager in America
yeah.
in December. That's
In
always
December,
puzzled me.
it's-
That
yes.
he created that in December before most of the world had even heard of COVID-19.
I mean, he knew something before we did.
Well,
so
it makes you think, doesn't
obviously, it is.
Yes.
But it's another when we spoke figures. What we were shocked about were the figures in Switzerland.
Yes, we were, Thomas.
I mean,
I was shocked.
Switzerland is just over 8 million Swiss
population.
people population.
Yeah.
So, but it's 211,913.
That's a very high amount of cases there, isn't it?
Yeah, but
For a small country.
For a small country,
no offence to
Austria,
Switzerland, it's a beautiful country.
Yeah, but for a small country, Austria is the same, close to 9 million, and we Austrians. So, and when you look in at 140,969.
Right.
So, and I
okay.
spoke with my family today, and they're saying
yes.
it's really bad. It's going up and up and up, and all the countries are getting it. So having the same problem.
They are. Just to compare that with Denmark, we ran a story yesterday about the culling of the 17 million, which is still an extraordinary figure in my head, of the mink. Well, they've reported 51,753 cases with 733 deaths, and they have a population of 5.8 million. I mentioned Denmark again, Thomas, because they're one of 3 countries that have just been added to the UK's 14-day quarantine necessity if you go to visit them. The other 2 countries were Germany and Sweden.
Wow.
Germany's experiencing a bit of an uptick in cases as well at the moment, isn't it? Yeah.
What can I do? But let me say hello to so many more. Army Speller is saying, hello everybody, it's Friday. Yes, thanks God it's Friday, it's great.
Yes, absolutely. And Hyber Ilta, Army, we love hearing from you and all our Finnish friends.
And here Adam James is saying, number 10, listened to StudioKerkyra. StudioK, really? That would be the first, man.
Adam, thank you. That's the home of happy horses there
That's
in
the
Rock,
home of
Worcestershire.
Exactly.
Welcome aboard, Adam. Hope you and Rachel and all your lovely horses are keeping well. And it's nice to have you back on board. And it's nice of you to say that. Actually, you wonderful viewers, wherever you are in the world, help us with our mental health, would you believe? At least you keep us stable.
It's like a quid pro quo. It's great. It's fantastic. I'm enjoying it.
It's a marvellous collaboration, isn't it?
Yeah, we're keeping each other
Exactly. Well, safe and sane, yes.
Yeah.
Because we are, let's be honest, we are living in a bit of a mad world at the moment.
Oh, just slightly. And Pierre Towers is saying,
hi, Pierre.
Hello, hi Pierre, thanks for tuning in, thanks for watching. It's great to see you all. And our today's poll is our question: how much faith do you have in the official COVID-19 figures? Complete faith, some faith, or no faith at all? So, complete, say 0%. Some 69%, and no faith at all 31%. I'm not surprised.
Number 2's shown an increase, so that's quite encouraging.
It's confusing, isn't it?
It is, but I can understand there being a big fat duck for number 1, because can we really say? We can't really, can we, that they're going to be 100% accurate? It's not possible, to be honest with you. I think we can get the best guesstimate that we can, and I'm sure Johns Hopkins University do their very best with the correlation.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, but you know what? I got an example here. Let me show you that quickly. We know that. We spoke in the beginning the 9 ways to reduce stress in times of COVID. So for everybody who just logged on, that's the 9 ways to reduce stress in the times of COVID-19, because mental health matters. And number 1, get enough sleep. Number 2, eat healthy food and stay hydrated. 3, learn relaxation techniques. 4, improve your time management skills. 5, resolve stressful situation. Just tell them to bug off. 6, exercise
Good
daily.
Advice.
Somebody knows, you just tell them to bug off and that's it. But 6, exercise daily. 7, nurture yourself. 8, keep in touch with your family and friends. And 9, ask for help.
Yes.
Don't be afraid to ask for help if you feel like you or somebody else might need it. Set up an appointment with a doctor or mental health professionals. There is no shame in it, guys.
No,
Definitely.
no shame whatsoever. And if you can't find anybody at all, and you've got no friends or family, and you really are crying out for help, you can always contact us here at the studio.
Yeah,
because
exactly.
we will listen to you. We absolutely promise you that.
You can send us a friend request on Facebook or write us an email, inbox@StudioKerkyra.com. Don't be shy, we're here for you 24/7, you know that, and we know if we need, you are the same. So it's great, thank you. But let's carry on quickly what I wanted to show you, and that one, we speak about being confused.
Yes, here we go. It's a good example of it, isn't it?
Totally. I look at this map, and I look today, this is from the European Center of Disease Control, the official thing, you know, and I look at the colors, and I just can't make that out, because these yellows all look the same, and these reds all look the same, and this green, that's Greenland, by the way, so very original. And and then I try to make sense of this map. The only sense I made is this country is not included in the figures, yeah, and that's Switzerland.
Strange.
And then you got Albania, you got Serbia, you got Bulgaria, you got Macedonia, Bosnia-Herzegovina, Serbia up there. No, they are not included. When you look on Bing, you can see the figures there. So why they don't have that, I have no idea. But the whole color, the whole thing, Malta is red too. Okay, country is not visible in the main map extended. Malta is not visible. I can see it.
Yes.
So you know what?
Beautiful island in the
and that's
Mediterranean.
open this up on the top, this little green spot. That's Greenland, and I don't know what's with green. So this is
well, that's only there because it was a former colony of Denmark. I think that's the only reason.
But I'm honestly, I cannot figure that out.
No.
That map. Totally. When I compare the map, we compare the figures with a few different things. So it's you start comparing. More you compare, more you get lost.
Yes. On the subject of Serbia, it has a not far a greater population to Denmark. In case you want to know, Serbia's official figures as of yesterday, total number of cases 55,676, sadly with 861 deaths, and they have a population of 7 million. I mentioned Serbia, Thomas, because in the news yesterday, was the patriarch of the Serbian Orthodox Church has gone down with COVID-19. So have a lot of his colleagues. The reason for that is they held the other day a very large open mass when it was enclosed in a building, and they were advised not to, but he said, oh well, God will show us the way. I don't know how serious he was about that, but now they've not only himself but many of his colleagues closely around him have all gone down with COVID-19. But I don't know why Serbia is not included in that.
I have no
European
idea. It
disease
is on the
control
Bing map. I can see that clearly.
That's
So
right.
it is confusing. I think it's totally confusing. But the other thing is, we spoke about that here, and I'm just throwing that in now because it's the truth regarding the figures here in Greece. I mean, we don't know exactly how many are on Corfu. I tried to find out now how many are totally on Corfu with COVID, how many did recover and how many died. I think 2 died. How many recovered, I don't know. And how many current infected are on the island, I have no idea.
Well, we could guess one thing. We can guess that the answer to how many numbers of cases on the island, it's got to be by what you've just read out with the last figure, was 21, I think you said. Yeah. It's got to be approaching 200 now. By what
easily.
We know. It must be. It's
Easily.
probably gone over the 200.
Easily.
Yes,
but when you told me earlier, for the country, the people who know the correct figure exactly is the Orthodox Church.
Yes.
And I mean, I find that, they know exactly. Why don't we, or why don't the Greeks, nationals, don't know that figure exactly?
I don't know the answer to that, Thomas.
I have no idea, especially when you have the church here and they broke the law with having the ceremonies,
There's
but the
been
first
a lot of
lockdown
that
and thing,
on.
and it's going on and this
yeah.
thing, and I know it's a deep religious country, and I respect that
absolutely
constantly. But I thought, the church is protecting me at the same time.
Yes, maybe they think they have an extra level of protection themselves. I mean, we're coming from a point of view here. Whatever we say, our main point of view is that we absolutely really respect human life. We want human life to continue to remain, and we don't want people to go down sick. So whatever we say, we're skewing it towards the best for most people,
Yeah.
I think that we can truly say that.
Definitely.
I must admit, I was worried in lockdown number 1 when there were so many church services, not just in Greece, but in other countries going on with no or little regard for social distancing, for instance.
Yeah.
But then again, Thomas, we were talking just before we went on live on air about the last day, the penultimate day of freedom, as they say, before lockdowns come into place.
Wow.
And have you noticed how many parties there were? How many large
incredible
street gatherings?
What was going on
and I was
everywhere.
shocked to see. I was shocked to see some photographs coming out of Soho in London. This is the Wednesday was the last night in the UK before their national lockdown. It was just like extraordinary, free for all, no social distancing. I didn't see many masks either. I can understand that they want to enjoy those last moments of freedom, but then surely you're throwing common sense out of the window, aren't you? The whole idea of these lockdowns is to suppress the spread of the virus. That's what it's about.
This is why Greece done so well at the first lockdown. It was so brilliant. They responded quickly. They done it all quickly, and they kept us safe. And now they hesitated. Now they saw the figures are going up on a daily basis and more, and I think they just didn't take that serious. And when it dropped first over 1,000, then they started, we have to talk now about it.
Yeah.
And now we're close to 3,000 a day. So why did they miss that now? What's the reason for them?
I don't know for sure.
To react completely the opposite they done the first time.
I could have one little guess that maybe they were holding back to the end of the scheduled or chartered direct flights to the island at the tail end of the holiday season. Maybe that was a factor in their minds and their way of thinking.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I have no idea.
But it
I
could
have
be.
no idea.
It
But
could be.
it affects a lot of things. So our
sure,
daily question today is, how much faith do you have in the official COVID-19 figures? Complete faith, some faith, or no faith at all. Complete faith, 0%. Some faith, 71%. No faith at all, 29%. So
well,
that's that
yes,
one.
number 2 is growing in popularity.
Totally, yeah. And we are both, I think, in that one.
We are
aren't
definitely in number 2
Yeah.
at the moment. Of course, these things can change as more information comes into us, providing it's accurate information, of course. And we do our best, as we've stressed all the way along here. It's very difficult for us here, but we try our absolute best to give you the most accurate that we possibly can. And one thing we can absolutely guarantee you, we are never going to deliberately mislead you.
No.
And if we were to say something that proved to be incorrect, you can bet your bottom euro, dollar or pound we will correct that live on air in the next available broadcast.
Definitely. So, and just looking in here on the messages now, I want to pick out, because that whole situation brings its own problems and it affects a lot of people, a lot of industries in a different way. Here, Winnie was writing in, thank you. Winnie says, stay positive, everybody. My cousin in London is a musician, and his gigs in the UK and Europe have all been cancelled.
Oh.
He is self-employed, and he is wondering how he and the live music industry will survive, as I believe the self-employed are getting little or no financial support from the government. Could a kind person elaborate, please?
I think that's
kind,
over
but
to
I can't
someone
elaborate.
in the United Kingdom. But that is absolutely true what you
Yeah,
say, Vinny.
totally.
And
It's-
self-employed are definitely treated in an inferior way to employed people. And
It's the-
obviously that shouldn't be the case.
I mean, a
I
big
think,
industry is the entertainment industry.
I've been hammered.
Huge.
Like
They
the,
hammered
like the
like
hospitality.
us, like the
Yes,
hospitality.
They
is-
have been
is the
hammered,
same thing.
absolutely,
Yeah.
yes. What can I say apart from maybe your relative could carve some sort of thing on social media? Maybe he could Zoom some private concerts. Of course, it's not the same,
No,
but it's good to keep your hand in. Good to
Yeah.
keep going at these things.
I think so.
The worst thing you could do is just say, I don't feel like it, and just put it under the bed and just forget about it. Because no, that's not the right way. If you've got a good, strong mind and
Strong
you
mind
are
and-
passionately committed to what you're doing, then just try and find a way of doing it. Okay, the audience. I mean, here's something that surprised me, Thomas. I was reading about the UK's most popular TV programme, which is what is it now? It's a dancing one. What's that called? I can't remember. I don't watch UK TV, but it's the BBC's flagship programme about dancing. I'm sure a viewer's going to tell me what it is. The lead judge was saying the other day that they were very concerned because there are no live audience in the studio, and therefore they didn't think that they would be able to perform as well. Well, I don't... Yes, OK, I take the point, but you don't really need a live, large audience to pull off a jolly good performance, because if you are truly enjoying what you're doing, that enjoyment, you'll just do it, and that enjoyment will flow through, and whoever's in the studio, even if it's the technicians or the producer, it doesn't matter, they're still audience.
They still, but see, there it is. When you have a live audience in front of you, some of the entertainers can only do when they have a live audience, so they can engage, they can play that, and they can sing. That's where they draw their motivation.
Repartee, for sure. But
that's where they draw their motivation. That's what gets them. And all of a sudden the studio is empty. It's look at us here. We got no live audience, no? I mean, that would be funny, wouldn't it?
That's why I said it, Thomas.
Yeah.
That's why we haven't.
We haven't. But,
maybe one way round it was that they could put some fake sounds going on, as in football stadiums tried that.
like the
didn't they?
Americans do with the applause.
Yes,
and
They could have something like that going on the PA within the studio complex. That might help them.
Maybe, but but when you're an entertainer, when you're a professional, you should be able to cope with that. Just because there's nobody there, what atmosphere? Then generate the atmosphere. That's your job. You're an entertainer. If there is an audience here or not, it doesn't matter. You're a good true professional. You can generate this atmosphere, however it is.
That's what I would
the problem
say,
is everything is so scripted nowadays. Every line is scripted. Everything they say, even the jokes. It's not.
Yes.
When you look back 2-3 decades ago, comedy was comedy. Now everything is scripted to the max, and it destroys the entertainment a little bit.
Agreed. I think there's one possible very good reason for that, which is sad to say. It's probably from a legal perspective. Everybody who runs a TV channel is absolutely scared witless that they're going to be sued by someone. It's the day of the lawyer, isn't it? But also, that's a good point you said that about comedians, because I would hazard a guess that being a performer or comedian today, okay, we've got lockdowns and okay, we've got COVID-19, but stripping that out aside for a minute, I reckon with the political climate, with political correctness and the age of the woke generation, maybe it is much tougher today to be a comedian than it was, say, 10 or more years ago, because you've got to watch what you say much more closely. I mean, to some extent, I can see that you don't want to be upsetting large swathes of the population, but then the whole idea of Mickey taking or humour, you know, is to be a little bit on the edge, isn't it? And you should be flattered if you're in the public eye and you've got a comedian that's continually taking the Michael out of you. In a way, you should be quite flattered.
It's Strictly Come Dancing.
Oh, thank you ever so much. Whoever said that, so I just couldn't for the life of me. I thought thank you, Tom, for getting me out of a nasty hole. Thank you very much indeed. Yes.
But
Strictly Come Dancing.
Strictly Come Dancing. Now you got it. You'll never forget that again.
I won't. No. I knew Come Dancing was somewhere, but that was an old program. Did you know Terry Wogan used to narrate and host
I just thought of Terry Wogan and the two Ronnies and so.
Wasn't he great? What a fantastic radio performer, Terry Wogan. For years and years, he was like almost the sound of the BBC, wasn't he? And his dulcet Irish tones, lovely to the English ear. Well, they were to mine anyway.
I believe so. But let me say hello to Sarah Roseman. She's saying, hello, Claire, Thomas, Adrian and James.
Hi,
Sad to hear you all are on lockdown again, but great program from a cold, dry Romney Mars.
Oh, well, we'll try and warm you up, Sarah. I'm trying to get to the cockles of your heart and your good husband, David, who never ceases to amaze me with the interesting posts he puts on Facebook.
Cockles.
It's an old expression.
That's great. But this is for the fish cockles down with the harbour too, I remember.
Maybe, yes. I'm not so keen on them myself.
You're not so keen. No, I remember Portsmouth is beautiful. Go down fish market, you can have them fresh. It's great.
Don't leave them lying around, because you could be in for a very unpleasant aroma.
Why lying around? They got them so quick.
Oh, you eat them quickly,
Of course. What do you do with them?
Well, no, I don't do anything with my cockles, thank you very much indeed. But I can tell you a long time ago that my aunt collected some winkles and she forgot about them, and they were lying around in this room, and my gosh, the pungent, unpleasant aroma was something else, unspeakable. In fact, I can't possibly describe how awful it was. So watch your winkles and your cockles and everything else.
That's going. Oh my God, man.
Anyway, moving on.
Talking about being sued, but
yes, exactly. Hang on.
But okay, man. Here it goes. Pierre Towers is writing in times of COVID, we need to stay clear of people with coughs. So they should cough at a distance. Tell them to cough.
That is a good one.
That's what we like, man.
Do you know, I was talking to someone a few weeks ago in England who I hadn't spoken to for ages. We're having a little catch-up over the phone lines. And they were telling me that this COVID thing is great because they don't like going into busy supermarkets and having people around them. So they used to just cough. And they said it's amazing. If you want to disperse a crowd as quickly as possible, just cough. And everybody just runs for cover.
Yeah. So you have to try that one next time.
Maybe.
Shopping. But hey, it's great, guys. No, there's so many great coming in here. Tom Giddings is writing, when the first lockdown started, I praised Greece about how they reacted and structured. But they put the structures they put in place. When we came back in August, I explained to people at work how safe I felt and that we should take the same action. You know, they done very, very well, and over the summer it went all right. It's always down to the people if they respect the laws or not, and sadly there were some businesses who didn't respect that, but they got quickly told off because the fines were huge. They close your business for 2 weeks and €10,000 fine.
That's right. They were very hot on that, weren't they? We spoken to a few business proprietors who were, I think one received a fine in the local area, didn't they? And they were most put out about it. But yes, it would seriously dent your takings in a business that's stretched at the moment because of the pandemic. Also, the same thing's happening in the United Kingdom. It surprised me how many people were prosecuted for having house parties and illegal raves. To be slapped with a £10,000 fine is not exactly the ticket, is it?
No, it's not. Okay, let's carry on. Thanks for writing in. Keep it coming. If there's any questions you guys have, don't hesitate. Write into us here now live or send us an email to inbox@StudioKerkyra.com. .com. Now I want to answer 2 questions from yesterday where I looked in today. I promised you, and that's one about olive farming and the other is about business travel to Greece. The first is there is a tailor, I got this over on my board, there is a tailor was asking regarding farming olives. And here I got it. Both the Prime Minister and the General Secretary for Trade announced that activities in the primary production sector, agricultural products, are allowed. Government spokesman Stelios Betsas also clarified the situation regarding olive collecting in an interview on Sky Radio. Provision has been made for all activities in the primary production sector and any movement necessary to complete the harvesting of olives and other agricultural products. So here it goes. Olive harvesting will continue as normal as long as there is the necessary documents. And that is, workers must have, when you work for an olive factory, workers must have a certificate of employment from their employers. Owners and their family must have the E9 form with them. So you have to get this out, you have to tick, I'm at work and I'm at my olive thing. No?
Right,
so and olive producers must have their Integrated Administration and Control System, OSDE, declaration based on which they receive their grants. So that's it. You can go, but make sure you got your form with it, tick work, go to your olive thing, trees and start working. That's not a problem. That's all also available on animeracy.com when you want to look into that one. So I hope that answers this question. And the other question, or you had something?
No, I was just going to say that's good to hear about the olive production, because I'm sure that question must have been on the lips of many people here on Corfu, because as you may remember, there are somewhere between a staggering 4 million to 6 million olive trees on this comparatively small island, and olive oil production is a major part of the agricultural economy of this island. So I dare say there are a lot of people relieved to hear what you've just said from the official sources. That's great, Thomas. And I hope that Teresa's satisfied with that answer. And good luck to your olive harvest if you have one, Teresa.
Great. And here going over, because yesterday John Hayhurst were asking about business travel to Greece. Yes,
right,
you have, but you have to have a confirmation from the company you're working with here in Greece for the meeting or for the work arrangement. So they have to send you a confirmation what you have to take with to travel. All the other travel the COVID testing and that's all stays in place. You have to get tested before, you have to have that, and if you come from a country here you need to self-isolate for 7 days when on your arrival, you have to do so. So it's they assess that if you can't do the job via video meetings or anything like that, so electronically, then you allowed to travel. But there is the Chamber of Commerce in Greece, in Athens. When you just search Chamber of Commerce Greece, they got also the information on their website. But at the moment, yes, you only need the confirmation from the company you work with or you have the meeting with. So, and that has to be a registered company.
Right.
Yeah, not using as an excuse. I got told if you use as an excuse and they grab you, that is a fine of 10,000 euros.
They like these 10,000 figure, don't they?
I know.
Mind you, that's quite right. I wonder if that similar rationale would have applied to all those PPE companies that suddenly sprung up in the United Kingdom and no one had ever heard of, and suddenly got 110 million here and 120 million there for doing masks, even though they were in pest control, for instance, or something else completely very far removed from anything to do with medical services.
Yes, they all start doing it coming Sunday.
I think that was quite a witty little joke there.
Not bad.
Not bad. On a Friday. Very good, very good.
I tell you. But hey, our question of the day is, how much faith do you have in the official figures, COVID-19 figures? And so far, there's 3 answers. Complete faith, some faith, no faith at all. No, complete faith, 0%. Some faith, 53%. No faith at all, 47%.
Oh, actually, yes, right. Well, the number 3 suddenly risen there.
Yeah, but boom, and now it just changed over again. And now it's 50-50. It's straight on 50-50. Some faith 50%, no faith at all, 50%. And I'm not surprised, because
I can't
what do you believe? Who do you believe?
Exactly.
That's the question.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Where do they get the figures from? How many tests are done? What I heard the last, it's not just in the UK, also in Greece. I heard a journalist saying, you know what, they're doing a lot of tests. That's true. They're testing. But they can't they can't actually work the tests.
No, because of the
They
pressure
have a
on
backlog.
laboratories. They have
Exactly,
a backlog.
they
Yes,
have
that's right.
such
Yes.
a pressure on the laboratories. When they try to get the results, there's a backlog of them, what is weeks. And how long does a test actually last? How, is there not a time limit when you been tested until this has to be...
It's a good point.
Yeah.
We heard, didn't we, some weeks ago from our viewer and our friend Hayley Griffiths, who is working at the National Testing Laboratory in Cheshire. She was saying that they were all her colleagues were absolutely rushed off their feet like Billy-O. But of course, the UK government have made great progress in trying to get more tests done. They were a bit slow to start with. Here's a story on that very subject of testing. It comes from good old wonderful town of the northwest of the United Kingdom, England, Liverpool. We like Liverpudlians. We love their sense of humour. And Liverpool, which has always been a bit of a trailblazer for public health. Back in 1959, they were one of the first cities to run a major screening test for tuberculosis. Well, the mayor of Liverpool announced the other day, Mr. Anderson, that they're going to begin mass testing, and it'll be the first trial of a whole city testing in the United Kingdom. Joe Anderson, the mayor, he said Liverpool has nothing to lose by taking part. Everyone living or working in Liverpool will be offered repeat tests whether they have symptoms or not. The pilot scheme is due to last for about 2 weeks, but this could be extended if needed. And the whole idea of this, quote the mayor, is to save lives, stop the hospitals from being overwhelmed, and to try and get the city out of Tier 3 restrictions. People are offered a mix of existing swab tests and new, this is something that I think you touched on yesterday, Thomas, new lateral flow tests, which can produce a result within 20 minutes without the need to use a lab. The new test sites have been set up right across the city in schools, universities, care homes and places of work. And to help with all that, 2,000 military personnel are going to be getting involved. Don't panic, everybody. It's not a question of army on the streets. They're there to be drivers, to help with logistics and clerical work, would you believe? So that's probably a good thing. It'll be interesting to see after 2 weeks or 3 weeks from now what the results of that mass testing. But it's taken all this time for just one place to get to grips. And well done, Liverpool, for being the place in the United Kingdom for doing just that.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I'm just looking at the figures.
Do you know anything about a lateral, what these things are? We ought to ask one of our viewers, or all of our viewers actually, because someone out there in radio TV land is bound to know the answer, exactly what is a lateral flow test as opposed to any other type of COVID-19 test. We here at the studio don't actually know. So any of those budding biologists out there and medical experts, please don't hold back. Educate us, illuminate us, and thereby illuminate the world at the same time. Why not?
Exactly. See, but that's where my question comes from. They take a test. So this test, what is the time frame for this test to be now developed? So I know it's positive or negative. When a test is sitting for 1, 2, 3 or 4 weeks, is the result then not different?
Well,
I'm not
very valid, is it? If it takes 4 weeks to come back, it's no good.
That's a question what I have.
Yes.
So is there a time limit? Okay, within 3 days after taking the test, they have to...
I think in Liverpool they're going to be doing that. Yes, it's a continual testing going on. I mean, it must be costing quite a lot, and it must. No wonder they've got the army involved there, because that is a logistical nightmare. I should think.
Exactly, and so people don't need to get worried or scared when they see now army.
No, that's why I said it exactly.
They guys are good. They organise.
It's a good thing that they're doing that, and fair play to Liverpool for giving that a go. Because we said very early on in the very first broadcasts of Lockdown SK, the first series 1.0, as it were, that, it's no good, really. Any of these figures are no good unless everybody is tested. Barry Taylor made the good point yesterday. You have a test one day, and it's clear, for instance, you get the result back. But in the time you get the result back, or before you take another test, how many people have you come into contact with? It's an unknown answer to that, isn't it? So really, it's not just having a test and saying, oh, well, that's it. No, you've got to be keeping on it as well, and make sure that in the meantime you're wearing your mask everywhere you should, and maintaining social distancing. And of course, as we said yesterday, hand sanitizer and gels, and washing your hands is most important. Oh, Thomas, can I just say another thing about masks? You adequately and very well demonstrated yesterday about these people who have got into a rather slipshod habit of wearing masks and then having them dangling under the chin. I read the other day that actually having the mask on the chin is the most dangerously stupid thing to do because it's, for some reason, which I don't know the answer to, I have to say, not being a medical expert, but actually the mask can get particularly infected by just merely having it on your chin.
On the chin, yeah.
So,
especially when you got a beard then too, you know, there's another risk on top, and I saw that. But thanks God yesterday we spoke, there's a couple of coffee shops we really love, and we go there.
We like our coffees, don't we?
Yeah, and you know, and we saw the people not wearing masks, not even the boss and that in there. Today when we arrived, no, they were all wearing masks.
They were, yes.
The first time.
Maybe it was something you said, Thomas.
I don't know, but they were all still friendly to me. So
oh, they were, yes, and we didn't mention who they are because we don't want to embarrass them, and they are nice people, and they're doing a good service. Let's be honest here, you know.
Yeah, making great coffee, man.
Absolutely, yes.
Definitely. Here, Tom Giddings is answering your question. The lateral flow test, also known as the lateral flow, and blue. That's a long thing, I can't read that. Are simple devices intended to detect the presence of a target substance in a liquid sample without the need for specialized and costly equipment. For instance, the home pregnancy test is a lateral flow test that detects a certain hormone. That's great. Thank you so much, Tom. That's great.
Fantastic. Absolutely. You see, I knew one of our wonderful viewers would know the answer, and that's why this digital platform is just so great, because we can communicate these questions and the answers all around the world. It's a wonderful bit of education.
That long word here, immunochromatographs.
Right.
I have
no idea, and I can't say it. I'm not going to attempt to say that. I'll have a look at that later when I look at the comments, and we'll see what that says. Well done,
purpose.
Tom.
But it's great, mate.
He's stretching your considerable prowess of the English language, Thomas.
Oh,
I mean,
man,
you know, for an Austrian first
squashed.
language speaker, you speak English very well, if I may say so.
Thank you, man. Thank you. No, I love the language. I think it brings so much to everything. You know,
it is a great language.
It's a great language.
Okay, I'm biased,
especially when entertainment's here. I love it. So it's.
Although I do make the point that it must be very hard language for many people, non-English speaking peoples from the other side of the world, shall we say, to get to grips with, because there are so many anomalies in the English language. You know,
with the pronunciation it starts already. You know, you have to be so careful. And when you know, for me as German, we have some letters speaking very hard, and now you know in the English it's completely different. No, so I and E, it's E and I. It's exactly opposite how we pronounce it in the German.
D's and the T's, I've noticed.
D's and the T's, and so it's quite
It's that one. But here's a word. The word to read, or that you have read. They're both the same. R-E-A-D. And that must be confusing to a non-English first-speaking person.
You're telling me,
and
mate.
Living and live. We're live right now, which is L-I-V-E, but it's also to live. Well, absolutely, yes. But to live as well is the same spelling.
It's the same spelling, so it
must be confusing, you know.
But it helps, you know, because I do a lot of reading and I love reading English books. It's fascinating.
Well, you've got plenty of time coming up with lockdown.
Yeah, I know. I'm looking forward to that, and I read scripts because people sending us some film scripts, some little short film scripts. What we're reading through, and I read through, and I love that. So if you got a short film script or a film script, say, I want to do, don't hesitate. We're also a production company. We are also doing a lot of short films. So if you got something laying around, I just approach it. Would love to read that.
Absolutely. And when you read them, please pass them on to me, because I'd like to have a little read myself. That's R-E-A-D. Just in case you're wondering.
Okay, great. Over to the bowl quickly, and then I got from Vinny another message here. But we asked today, how much faith do you have in the official COVID-19 figures? So, complete faith, some, or none at all. So, complete, 0%, some, 52%, and no faith at all, 48%.
Oh, the last one's going up there.
I know, it's quite
not
crazy.
Surprising.
Nah, it doesn't surprise me either. No. But here, Vinny is writing in, I think the problem with Greece was that after the first lockdown, we were too lax with non-compliance perpetrators because the police didn't want to upset the tourists. Yeah. I have little faith in the figures, as I heard yesterday, she thinks was the BBC, that only 20% of people in the UK asked to self-isolate actually did so.
Yes, that's quite shocking, isn't it, when you hear something like that? Thank you very much for telling us that.
That's great, Vinny. Thank you.
Yes, absolutely. That really is quite nasty, isn't it?
That's heavy. I think it is really is irresponsible.
Totally. Yeah.
Just to you have to come back. You have to self-isolate for 7 days, and then you just go out and carry on as like nothing happened. And that's what I was speaking about in the summer here.
Yeah.
Because we experienced the same thing in the summer, and I couldn't believe it. I mean, we tried to keep distance and that, and sometimes, yes, it doesn't work. But
No.
You know, most of the time you can do that. And the coffee shops, the restaurants, the tavernas here on the island and other, they done the distancing. They put the tables afar. Instead of having 20 tables in his restaurant,
Yes,
he
that's
only
right.
had 12.
Yeah.
What then?
Yeah.
So they all kept to that. And then the tourists arrived here, and somehow, you know how the holiday mood is. You're on holiday, you don't want any restriction, you don't want, so you try to carry on as normal. And you were able to see that. There were
Yeah.
people coming here, and they just carried on.
They did, yeah.
There were no mask wearing in shops, and if you ask a tourist, you know, there is a mask. Oh, really? Now, don't say, oh, really, because it's even written in English on the
Absolutely.
by the door,
It's
by the
everywhere.
supermarket,
Yes,
a
of
big
course.
sign
Yeah.
in different languages. So they took time to write this in different languages so everybody can understand. And then people still looked at you like, you know, a newborn. So, ooh, what's that? So, you know, it just
True.
thrown me. And when we on our tour, I've said it's open now. We done the Corfu tour this summer, and this was great. We really enjoyed it.
Oh,
But
yes, it
we
was.
had to stop because of that problem.
Yeah.
We started feeling so unsafe.
We did, particularly when good people who meant well, but they probably in a minute of madness didn't realise what they were doing when they would insist on poking their heads right in the van and getting up close and personal to us. Now, under normal circumstances, we'd love that, but with the pandemic such as it is, no. Here's another one that I found a bit tricky. Thomas, what do you do when you've got a lovely Greek person who wants to give you a hug, get really close to you? And I've had that a couple of times. If you recoil,
I know.
they immediately take offence. If you kind of enter into the spirit of it and let yourself be hugged, you think afterwards, oh, I don't know whether I should have done that.
I know. I
It's a bit
know,
tricky,
but this
isn't
is,
it?
you know, we
Social
have to get
etiquette
used
has
to
to
that.
be rewritten, I think, we got to say here. Do you think that?
Yes, but don't forget, man, it just happened. It's for all new.
True,
And,
true.
you know, you
Mhm.
used to sing. It is.
Well, we were used to hugging, and
To
I
hugging,
was
to
a
shaking
particular-
hands,
shaking
and
hands was the
now
thing
we
that
had
I
this
did.
transition
Yes,
period
yes. But
in
actually,
it where we had to
I quite-
to change and remember that. And sometimes because you're excited, because you see people you like and you're happy to see on
Of
the
course,
island doing
yes.
holidays, and you know, wow, hooray, and you forgot about that. So I think this transition period stopped now. We got more used to it.
maybe they had one too many oozos or Cyperos too much. But actually, I
I
quite...
didn't have that many on tour, mate.
No, not on tour, no. Other people I'm talking about, other people. No, you're the mark of soberity, Thomas. I absolutely know that. But I quite like the elbow bumping. I don't have a problem with that. Do you? No, you're not too keen on that?
No, elbow is alright with the fist. Hey,
Yeah.
It's
I
okay.
think it's okay. It's obviously not the same as a
no.
handshake, but I think it's mildly better than nothing at all, you know? Do you not think so?
Oh, definitely, of course.
Good. Okay,
Of
well, so we
course.
agree on that one.
yeah, we agree. I mean, elbow bumping, fist bumping, hooray. You know, somehow a form of greeting we have to have. no?
Yeah, I think
mean,
so,
I
yeah.
said in an earlier version,
Yes.
let's do this like the Japanese and the Chinese. Let's just bow to each other.
Yes,
no?
that's a
But
good one.
us, because we're not used, we probably bump our heads more time.
That's very true. And the Indians and people alike, they do namaste like this, don't they? Which is also quite nice. And I think Thai people do that as well. That's not bad. It's respectful.
It's
and
respectful, it's great.
Yes, it's some sort of physical communication without actually touching.
Touching, yeah. I mean, I get here. Sorry, I just go over. Army is saying, when I listen to you speak, I want to say so many things, but maybe my English is not good enough for that. Maybe it's better this way.
Oh,
Laugh. So,
no,
but
Army,
write it in Finnish
yes.
is
Let
okay.
us
You
know
write
what
it in
you think.
Finnish, we translate that. It's not a problem.
Absolutely.
Just let it out. Don't hold it in.
Don't hold back,
We,
Army.
we're celebrating every day free speech, and we carry on. Don't worry.
Absolutely.
Everybody is allowed to say their opinion, what they think. If it's right or wrong, it doesn't matter.
No, it doesn't.
It doesn't matter.
We are a completely independent studio network here. Well, network's a bit of a stretch of the imagination, but we are a completely independent studio. There's no one pulling our strings or hovering over us telling us what to do, which I think is actually a
Exactly.
very,
That's
very
brilliant,
good thing.
isn't it?
Yes, it is, yes.
Yes, because we have, thanks God, freedom of speech, and that's what we have to celebrate every time we are on air. What you have here, guys, we just prepare us a little bit with the notes and so, but that's unscripted. We don't write any lines down. What we say, nothing. That just comes all natural. That's us. What you see here now,
On a
it's
good
not,
day.
it's not, it's not a performance. That's us. That's how we are
Exactly.
every day, and that's how people know
Stripped
us.
bare to the bone,
Yeah.
as it were. Take us or leave us, you know that we are real. We are totally genuine.
Oh, yes.
And that is the most important thing that we would like to get across to all you wonderful people out there. And as you say, we make no judgments. I mean, we obviously have our own personal private opinions, some of them quite strident, but we would never chastise someone who bothers to write in or phone into the programme or whatever programme it is with their views, whatever it is. We're very keen to know what it is you're thinking and perhaps why you think what it is you're thinking. We really would like to know that.
Yeah, and here is got from Caroline.
Oh, yes.
Great, and that's the stuff we want to hear. She said, "Hi everyone, what about a Corfu related book club as part of the program?"
That's a great idea.
That's a good one.
Yes, we'd probably have to do a little bit of collaboration, which we love doing, but we'd have to get someone who's in the know. We do have a couple of authoresses who are followers of the programme. Maybe we could reach out to them, actually. I don't know. But that's a great idea.
No, that's great. We're planning anyway
we're planning to do some poetry
we do, exactly.
and maybe some short stories. We're thinking of doing some ghost stories and whatnot. So stay tuned to StudioKerkyra. Watch this space, as they say. Thomas and
we're
Claire,
working on our lockdown programming.
Yes.
It's not just lockdown SK we want to bring to you. We want to bring to you a couple of other programs now. So we are putting our head already together for weeks, and we came up with a couple of things, and we in preparation. So to get that, to entertain you, and this is a whole array of lockdown programming. What is lockdown SK? What comes Monday to Friday 6 p.m. Plus there are gonna be other things on top coming shortly to you.
Absolutely. And on that theme, it is important that in the media as a whole, right across the globe, people are allowed to freely speak. It's a hot topic, certainly in France at the moment. But we believe in media plurality. And on that subject, Thomas, did you know, it's the first time I'm mentioning it, it's a quick story, because the first time I come across it, you know loads, you're an incredibly clever, intelligent man. But did you know that a former Prime Minister of Australia, Kevin Rudd, ran a petition, an online petition, and he garnered 501,000 signatures wanting a royal commission into the media of Australia, because he was maintaining that a certain person, we all know his name, Mr. Murdoch, who owns News Group or News International, whatever they're called, he has such a controlling stake in many of the territories in Australia, Tasmania, Northern Territory, Queensland and South Australia, where he owns television channels and radio stations, as well as, I think, about 19 out of 24 newspaper titles, which is quite extraordinary. Unfortunately, the petition is not legally binding. The Australian Parliament do not have to debate it even, unlike the UK, which are legally obliged to debate any petition that garners over 100,000 signatures. But he managed 501,000+ signatures in a very short time. You'll be sad to know that the poll closed on the 4th of November, I think it was. But that's quite interesting. At least people are taking this serious, because media should not be in the hands of one or two people.
That's the thing. It should be always about what happened to public broadcasting. That's what we're trying to do here with the stream. If you have an idea for a program here on the island, you want to do your own show, get in contact with us. We're happy to work with the public together. What we're doing is like a public broadcasting, but it's public live streaming. You have access. We got the studio, we got the equipment, we got the know-how, and we can support you in what you want to do. So it's all here, but we tried that over the last few years, and we just didn't get anywhere with the municipal in town.
Sadly not. We're not giving up. We'll keep trying, and we'll always open our hands to municipality, if Paniotta, if you're listening to us, or indeed the mayor, Maropi, or whatever her good name is. Please do get in contact with us. We pleaded with you to work with us, to collaborate with us, and we are here. We're not going to go anywhere, unless you shut us down, of course. But how can you do that? We're in Greece, the home of free speech and debate.
Exactly.
And that's what we're all about here, yes. And we hope to be running on a weekly basis, coming soon, our debating show. Agree to disagree. Don't worry, it will be coming back.
We're gonna have lockdown, definitely, Monday to Friday. Then we're gonna carry on with Agree to Disagree. We're just gonna go in a little bit heavier with that one, because once a week we wanna really moan.
Only once a week, Thomas.
We make up for it with fantastic poetry from Adrian. You selected fantastic poetry you want to read, and at the same time we show a little bit of the island. So we mixed it all.
Yes,
but,
and on that subject though, while I know that one of the viewers who said hello at the beginning of the programme, Margaret Black from lovely County Durham, do you remember we read, I think it was on Unlocked SK, that came after Lockdown SK, she wrote in a poem and we read it out, and it was rather good, Margaret. So if you've penned any other wonderful little pieces, please drop them in at inbox@studiokerkyra.com. Your poem will be read out. And that goes
Yes.
to everybody. Richard Zebedee was another one who wrote a very good poem about epilepsy and how it's
Yes.
affected him. But it was so positive. That's the thing why I'm going to say that. And I know lurking around somewhere, although I have to admit, Thomas, I can't quite put my hands on them, I know that there's a Dr. Mayer down in Devon, a delightful ecologist. He sent me several poems, and I'm struggling to find them.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll ask him to send them again. So I seem to have temporarily misplaced them.
yeah.
There we are. Well, yes, I won't say anymore. Get myself into trouble.
Take part, give us ideas, or join us. So that's great here. But I want to read here that from Margaret Johnston. She writes in about her local Desco's garage and supermarket.
Oh, yeah.
They have today got red and green lights outside to let you know when you can enter.
Really?
So yeah, they got traffic lights now before you can go into the
that's quite-
supermarket. It's
no,
great,
that's
man.
good. Yes, that is good. Absolutely. And they were, when we first started all these measures, the supermarkets here in Corfu were very good about that, weren't they? Limiting strictly, well, not all of them. Okay, most of them were strictly limiting the numbers of customers in the shop at any one time. And I suppose it did depend on the size of the premises, of course.
I mean,
Not all shops do that, so
Nope.
it is good that there is some sort of traffic light system going on. Yeah, why not?
Why not? That fits. You know what? I always had this thing. Every time I walked into the big Tesco's, I had a grin on my face.
Did you? Why is that?
Yeah, always. Exactly. You ask you why, and my friend of
Yes.
mine said, why? I said, mate, every time I walk in, I see these electric scooters all on the left side. I'm so tempted,
What, to get
just
one
to
and
get
drive
one
round
on
the
and drive
store?
around Tesco's, the big one, I really had to
Yes,
restrain
yes.
myself.
Right,
And now
okay.
with traffic lights there, it's much worse, mate.
I see where you're going. Yes,
know what I
yes.
mean?
You might get some funny looks, and you might get some people chasing you around the aisles with it. But
Yeah, probably,
yes,
man.
yes.
But there always is the urge, jump in. Wow.
Have you tried one of
Go.
those yet, Thomas? Electric scooter? Have
Electric
you been
scooter?
on one?
What do you mean, the disability scooters?
No.
Well,
I
not just
mean, I mean a normal electric scooter. Have you tried one?
No,
I
I
haven't
was
tried
thinking this year I want to drive one of these little
Okay,
electric
yeah.
scooters or these rollers, or what they call
They're
them.
quite getting
They're
quite
quite
popular
great,
now, aren't
yeah. But I had not the opportunity yet.
they? Okay, maybe one day soon.
Yeah, let's see.
After
What is a
lockdown,
great?
of
What is a
course.
great way to get around? Come on, I saw this here on the island. It's fantastic.
Yes.
They want the electric scooters whizzing around in the countryside. You can't
It's big-
explore any more green.
No, that's true. What about those Sedgeways? Do you know, I, to my horror, I found that the firm's gone out of business. They were quite popular for quite a few years, weren't they? Those strange Sedgeway things that you stand
I
up
know,
and-
I know. I was very, very interested. I still would love to have one, especially for the camera work. I have some colleagues, and when I
yes,
look at them,
yeah,
and a
yeah,
couple of them
good.
got some segways, and they fixed them a little bit for their camera. And when you go, and I also saw it at the athletics competitions now when they live broadcast on television. There's the guys on segways with the cameras
Oh, right.
following the thing, and
Marvellous.
they quite good and they great, and this is so tools, it's brilliant. It's also toys, all this gadget I love, them.
Yes, I've got a clear memory of one in Amsterdam Schiphol Airport. If anyone's been there, they know it's an enormous airport with loads of boarding gates, and sometimes you have to walk a rather long way to get to your boarding gate. And representatives from KLM Airways were using Sedgeways, and they picked up
great.
quite a lick. They were
I
going. They
know.
weren't no slow coaches
No,
there.
no.
But
They
the
good, yeah.
ladies all dressed up in their fine uniform, they looked rather fetching, rather smart and elegant. I thought
Going
on
good,
these,
yeah.
and it's also very good for the posture. So maybe I should think about getting that because I haven't got the best posture at all.
So
Mind you, I think I
this
might
helps.
fall off actually. Because am I right in thinking that to get the thing to move, you've got to stand in a kind of correct manner? Is that right? Do you think? Stand upright,
you
as
have
it
to
were.
be upright. You have the good
Yes.
posture and go, and
Yes.
then it's easy to drive. But I think you get the hang of it anyway. But it's good. It's great. It's electric. So why not? It's only so solar recharge stations would be great. You can fix that.
Absolutely, yes, indeed.
Yeah. So let me go back to the poll. So today's poll was: how much faith do you have in the official COVID-19 figures? And complete faith is 0%, some faith 52%, and no faith at all 48%. So
Okay.
these are the votes from today, guys. And
Right.
thank you so much for taking part. But you know what I have to say? You know what? It's again.
Yes, it's that time
I know
of the
it's
day.
the time
isn't
of the
it?
day
Yeah.
again. That's
sad.
all we have time for today. So is that all, or do you have anything short, quick?
I've got something short and quick. Yes, it's
To cheer us up.
Well, I don't know. It's an answer to a problem.
Okay.
People get very fed up with seeing rubbish and fly tip stuff trash in rivers and things like that. Well, in America, they've designed this incredible water wheel that is solar powered and uses the power of the water to collect hundreds of tons of rubbish, which I think is a marvellous idea. It's a miniature type paddle steamer kind of thing, and I think they could be doing a lot more. It's on test at the moment in Baltimore, in Maryland. So I would like to see that maybe in rivers, because to see a river with a shopping trolley is not the one, is it? But this thing can actually bring out car tyres, would you believe, and trees as well. And the wonderful thing is it's solar powered and using the natural power of the water to do it. So I think more things like that. On Monday, I'm going to tantalise you now, but on Monday I've got a fabulous story about cleaning the oceans, doing something good with all that dumped plastic. But I'll say that till Monday.
A good one.
In fact, you can guess what it is over the weekend and let me know if you get it right. If you get it right, I might give you a prize. Goodness knows what that would be, mind you.
Let's see that.
A coffee when you can get out
coffee,
here next year, yes. I'm feeling very generous today.
Well, I'm feeling it, mate.
Oh, right, thank you.
Okay. And Winnie is writing in, she said, please at some stage could you please play Back from the Brink, my cousin's band Soul Immigrants. I'm not clever enough to post you a link, but it's on YouTube. Winnie, I'm gonna look into that. I'm gonna talk, and if he allows us, of course we will. For the intro, we want to change the intro music a little bit.
We always have a copyright problem, so any permissions that we can get from the artists, we'd love. Absolutely.
Yeah, and if you're a musician and you want us to play your music for the intro of our show, we try to change that for every time. Of course, please send us your music and give us permission to play that. That would be great. But that's all we have time for today. Thank you so much for logging on, for watching, for commenting, for voting. It is a pleasure to be on air to you guys. Thank you so much. I wish you a fantastic weekend. I know it's lockdown, but make the best out of it. It's possible, and don't lose hope. So until Monday, have a great weekend. Kali Nichter for me.
Absolutely, and as always, thank you very much indeed for sharing your time. As Thomas has said, enjoy and have a wonderful weekend, even with the lockdown restrictions, and we very much look forward to seeing you all again on Monday. Take care now, and goodbye to you all.